Minimize.
Minimum.
Wait till it's, okay, just go back to your YouTube there. Turn the sound off. Minimize.
Is
that way to the back?
Wait till it's. Nope, nope,
Oh,
nope.
not that one, sorry. Which
On
one?
YouTube, go back
Oh.
to your YouTube. There,
We're good?
yeah, now you can
Okay.
go ahead. You're in the wrong one.
Oh.
Okay,
Here
Good.
we go. Okay. Welcome. Hi. Welcome to the new members. Great to have everyone here. All right, so start this right here.
Yep.
Okay. You. That's
Just sign line. In pencil.
Where's this going?
Back. All right, moved by Dan, second by Renee, that the Recreation and Fitness Committee meeting be opened at.
Probably should have done that for some fun.
5:01 p.m. Thursday.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Here it is.
Down.
Going back to you.
Thank you. All right, moved by Dan and seconded by Renee that the minutes of the Recreation Fitness Committee meeting held October 16, 2023 be adopted and circulated as be adopted and circulated. All in favor? Any disclosure of pecuniary interests? Any presentations from public? Hearing none. This might be a good time just to do quick introductions of our new members. Just anything that you feel comfortable sharing, just so that everybody gets a chance to know you guys. It's the way to go.
Guess I'll break the ice. My name is Renee. I'm 27. I've lived in Bonfield my whole life. I have 2 kids. I do the Halloween parade here every year. I did the Easter egg hunt last year, and I'm hoping to do a lot more fun things this year. So
Good,
that's a little bit about me.
thanks. The school president of the Golden Age, I've been here 15 years. I love it here.
And you have a new blanket.
I sure do.
Did you win?
Which one?
I picked my own day.
Convenience, yeah.
That's a suspicion.
Packet. Sylvie Lamont. I've been here since 2012. I love it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to what we can do.
Cassandra, been here 7 years. My boyfriend was born and raised here. And just want to give back to the community. We have 2 kids together, so it's been busy. One of our girls, she does stuff extracurricular in North Bay, and it's crazy. So would like to kind of get stuff, you know, in the town just to help us out and everybody else.
And everybody else is been on this committee for a while, and then Jason sitting in tonight because of the municipal alcohol policy. Right, any reports? So moving down to 6, so new business, so 6.1 New Year's Eve dance. So we have hired 2 security personnel for the night, just to make it a little bit easier on us. We hired a DJ. I believe Donna Clark is handling food with whoever she probably ropes into. Probably you as well. So I think, everything's pretty status quo at that point. We need to, send a flyer that, Natalie made a flyer and we just gotta tweak it a little bit. CEO wanted, Bonfield represented on it with the logo and stuff.
Okay.
So I believe Cassandra has it now. And
Yeah.
they're looking at
Yeah.
finalizing that so that we can get that promoted and sell some tickets and the rest will fall into place, I think.
Cool.
Anything else for that?
For the New Year's Eve, I have the resolution that it needs to be a significant event.
Okay,
Give somebody else a chance.
Don't ask me, I guess just sign on the line. That's what I was told. So how much, like, buzz is there gonna be about the dance?
we've run it, well, we ran it.
It's
last
always
year.
really successful.
And it worked last year and we weren't really much ahead of the schedule than what we are this year, so. I think it'll still go fairly well, even with being. Later than what I'd like, but I think this will be fine.
Okay, so later in the evening,
No, like,
later this
just,
year,
yeah,
okay.
organizing it a little bit later than what. Right, but. All right, moved by Lee's and second by, Sylvie, sorry. That the Recreation Fitness Committee recommends to council that the New Year's Eve dance fundraiser be declared a community event of municipal significance, and further that the committee apply for a special occasions permit for the event under the names of, I believe we were doing Donna in the event. And further that all money raised after expenses be donated to the Bonfield Summer Camp and Bonfield Fire Department. So we'll pick two every year. And that was just kind of decided before you guys jumped on board. So all in favor?
Quick question.
Yeah.
So as members, do we
Yes.
volunteer for that night?
You can, should.
Okay.
Make it easier for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, then the night of will be fairly easy, I believe. But yeah, any of the events that we're running, definitely the more hands that we have, the easier it goes and the more ideas.
Yeah.
So the more you get involved.
It's more the day before, right? Setting up and, or are we gonna be the day up?
Usually we set it up the day before, at least all the tables and chairs and all the,
Yeah, that's the hard part.
bringing in all the drinks and everything so that they get.
We need time to get ready for that night.
Yeah.
To setting up tape.
Yeah. Yeah.
Believe me.
All right, so 6.2, 2024 trade show.
Move on, we did have another one for the New Year's Eve. I'm so sorry, sir. And then this one, it's for us at New Year's. Have you moved on?
That's the DJ.
That one's for the DJ, this one is for the bus, for the East Coast bus line.
I gotta move in second.
Thank you very much.
All right, moved by Renee and second by Lee, is that the Recreation Fitness Committee recommends to council to hire. Jason Hart, I forget I think he was Kaleidoscope DJ service. At a cost of $1,050, including tax. To provide music for the New Year's Eve. All in favor? Moved by Natalie and second by Cassandra, whereas the Recreation and Fitness Committee recommends the council to hire the East Ferris bus lines to provide a shuttle service on New Year's Eve within the boundaries of Bonfield and Rutherglen at a cost of $290 plus HST and $3 a kilometer. All in favor? Perfect, that's a great service.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you.
$300, it's not bad.
You know, that for my brother,
Very
like,
reasonable.
yeah, there's bus, and then the next is the one that I have here.
Okay. So 6.2, sorry guys, 2024 trade show date. So this year, we felt maybe the fall was not the best time for people to show up and enjoy the event. Everybody's so closing up cottages and busy with other things. So we thought about doing it in midwinter. We thought about early spring. I don't know what anybody is.
I think April is like, people start waking up, people get motivated, people are like ready to open up their windows, even if there's still snow and
Right.
stuff. So around that time, I would say is a good time to,
Midwinter, you're hauling in all your product,
yeah,
snow and.
as soon as people are like,
Sure.
I just wanna go outside, I'm feeling good, that's.
And a lot of the trade shows are kind of.
Usually like late
Yeah.
spring.
March,
That's right.
April.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do we want to pick an actual date?
That'd be
Do you
great.
have anything else around that time planned?
I don't.
I think so.
oh, there's just Easter, right?
Oh, that's me, isn't it? I'm thinking probably an Easter egg hunt. I don't remember what day we did last year.
That's March 31st is Easter this year.
Jesus.
Yeah, every few years it's a really.
Scared to jump on to Christmas pretty soon.
But we want to stick with the Saturday.
Straight cut that. Boxing.
Yeah.
Stay away from Sunday. So
Yeah.
so
Alright,
we're looking at maybe April 15th or
Yes.
April 20th.
13th
Are
sounds
people
great.
starting to go to their cottages in April? No,
Yeah.
usually it's like
May.
May long weekend.
May long.
Yeah,
April's good, the weather's starting to break. and
April
people
13th.
wanna-
Okay.
Well,
13th sounds good.
cool guys.
That's really only like 6 months after the first trade show.
Mhm.
Are we going to skip this April and go to the next April, or we're gonna do it again?
But it's
No,
like
I
good to have
think
it twice a year
do it
anyway.
again because people were really,
Yeah, you missed.
people liked it. I did anyway, I enjoyed it.
Mhm.
I do feel that this time it was just a timing issue
What do
with
you
people
think?
being able to show up to a number of other events and.
People are looking to do renovations and, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
in
that's-
Spring, so.
Yep.
Run it again, I mean, if we don't get a good turnout
Oh, I
with
think
the pre-registrations.
Are we gonna open it up like to the outlying small communities? Cause we kind of. We kind of back each other, don't we? Like, cause I mean,
That was our thoughts. We wanted to keep it Bonfield centric for the first one because we didn't know how many people would apply for space. So we wanted to keep it just to Bonfield. Now that we kind of have a bit of a sense of it, we were considering opening it up to neighboring communities. with,
Yeah.
Like a small fee. So that their fees could kind of offset the cost of running the events, because we're still looking to haul.
Right.
So if people are okay with that, we can try that this year.
Yeah, like we talked about, any, you know, municipalities that we touch, people from those towns.
I think it would be a good idea.
And
Well, I know one of the challenges we had where people kind of backed out last minute is exhibitors. So like, have you given any thought to like, it's $25 to reserve your booth?
Yeah, like.
and then go back to the house, right? When you show up, you get your $25 back, you don't show up.
$25 is a fair fee.
Yeah,
Right?
it's normally 20 bucks a
market.
table anyways
Yeah.
for.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
like, I'm just trying to figure out, like, I get you're not, like, if we're trying to keep it free for the business in Bonfield, that's cool, and just. How do we prevent people not showing and being out? Right.
yeah, I like that.
I like that too.
And then what did we want to charge neighboring communities for this?
I'd say the same thing, and if they don't come, then they don't get the money back, for 30 bucks. Cause if you're from Bonfield and you come, it's free.
Right.
Right? And if you don't come, then. It is what it is, it's fair to everybody, doesn't matter where you're from,
Maybe it's. That's not.
cause the same amount of work is being put in from. Like these tables, regardless of whether somebody's coming from Rutherglen or whatever,
Right.
so.
Like big trade shows I know is big money. Like
Yeah.
some people pay $500,000.
Yes.
But obviously, we're not there yet. Is 25 too low? Is 50 more reasonable?
Yeah, 50 for the outline.
I personally, I feel like for me, 50 steep. Even if I'm getting it back, for me, 50 steep. that's enough to make me be like, I'm just not gonna even bother, cause like, what if my kid gets sick that day? And then I have like literally no choice and I'm out $50. Like personally, that's just a little much for,
The fee for neighboring communities.
okay, yeah, then, yeah. Yeah,
To Bonfield for a table, refunded the day of, and 50 for neighboring communities.
Not refunded.
That's their fee, not refunded.
The only thing I would say to that though is if you're gonna charge a fee, that you have to kind of guarantee that there's gonna be more promotion.
mhm.
You need to show that you're gonna draw the people in.
Yeah, and with that, I was just gonna say too, we could also have somebody posted in the building that day, getting information of people, because I remember I tuned into the last meeting and there was a conversation. And I got the idea of like, maybe doing a little magnetic phone book for like small businesses and stuff within Bonfield, and people, like, I have a list of so many businesses from the parade. I could email each one of them. Do you want your name on a magnet? It's going out January 1st. People will have it on their fridge all year as your name, your business, whatever, like right in front of their face. So we can do something like that too, like
Right.
for advertisement purposes.
That's a good one, because everybody, like,
Everyone
you
will
always
keep
see
a
looking
magnet.
for the septic
Yeah.
or topsoil.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's on the bottom.
They are,
Just-
I throw so many
And
flyers, but I keep
roofing.
all of the, even the fire department magnets, like they
Yeah.
only hold one
That
piece of
is
paper,
true.
but I still keep it regardless, right?
Yeah.
Especially like the older generation, they get a magnet right on the fridge and then they have
I do.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
all the numbers that they need.
Yeah, like,
And it's honestly like, I
Yeah,
could
how
imagine
big
it's
would it
probably a
be,
little bit
though?
more
Like,
expensive.
There's a lot of businesses in
There is a lot
Bonfield
of businesses.
that for sure.
Well, you could do it. You could do one that wasn't so big, but then you'd have like your place where you could put,
Complimentary
Like,
magnifying glass.
like, you know, when you get those whiteboards. And then they write on them, like I've seen those, and then they have a list of businesses on the side with the phone number.
It would be more expensive, I would assume, to have like a magnet rather than just a piece of paper. I don't know what the cost would be, but I feel like it would probably be worth it, even if we said like $5 and we're gonna put your name in, and every business pitched in a little bit of money to like get these out, because and it's guaranteed a full year, and I'm not throwing up the magnet.
Mhm.
I don't know if anybody else here is.
So if you put Bonfield Community Trade Show or whatever you're gonna
Yeah.
call it. And with a QR code, you can update that QR code year over year.
Mhm.
And then you're gonna stay on it, right?
With lessons, right?
Well, just like, cause then,
Yeah.
you know, they just scan it with their phone.
Yeah.
They'll see up-to-date list of who's gonna be there. If there's of interest, you know, you can. Last years.
Cause they don't
So
make
that-
phone books, I mean, do they make phone books still?
No, they do a small
Oh,
one.
okay,
That you can't read
Yeah.
yeah, so.
unless you get a complimentary minute.
Perfect.
I'm just thinking about my grandma. I know she would slap that magnet on her fridge and she would look at it.
So 6.3, budget update.
So budget update, Andre and I went through the budget, to just kind of pick in everything for New Year's for, Christmas in Bonfield. We're looking good there, yeah, I can try and see if, I guess this would be 2024 expense for the magnets. I don't really know.
No, we're good.
That's, I'm like, that's not it, we're
We
looking
can
good.
afford in Bonfield.
Yeah.
And 6.4, municipal alcohol policy. So our committee was tasked with reviewing the municipal alcohol policy, making some changes to it, and then resubmitting it to council. We've had it now in 6 months, but we haven't really done a whole lot with it other than a meeting or two actually at that point. It was brought back to council, and council sent it back to us again to try and simplify it. The policy was super big and it was really outdated. Nobody's worked on it for a long time. And it was really prohibitive to anybody that wanted to run events on our property. So we have the park and we have the rink and things like that. So anybody that wanted to rent a facility to run a band, maybe a band night or like a telego or anything like that that's outside, it was pretty prohibitive. So we've been tasked with the task of reviewing the municipal laws. So I think everybody has it in their package now.
Yeah, there's the Bonfield one, and then there was just another example from Southwold. Compared against.
So this one would say August 2023 on it. If this is your first chance of checking it out, I apologize if you guys kind of came in the middle of this. So this came to council and council thought that this was a little bit too long, too lengthy, too prohibitive, and it also kind of makes up some of the things that we wanted that alcohol and gaming commission also does. So like if you were to get a liquor permit to run an event here, you have to abide by their rules, their provincial standard. And we were kind of overseeing those rules as well. So a lot of it was just kind of literature in there that maybe didn't need to be in there because they have to follow the alcohol and gaming commission rules and I don't know if we want to go through this page by page because we have some new committee members. Or if you just wanted to kind of start with the issue that you think that we had. I don't know what would be easiest.
Tell me what the problems were.
So I guess one of them was where like suitable locations. So this would be on page 4, I guess. So right now, the way our new policy states is that you can only do it at the tennis court or the skating rink. So if you get a special occasion permit, you have to fence in your area. So unless it's indoor. So if you're running an outdoor barbecue, fundraiser, band, anything like that, you have to fence in your area. So council thought that the soccer field was also suitable. And depending on who's renting the facility, it's up to them to fence it in out. It's not up to the municipality. So really anywhere other than maybe the island, because it's so close to water and whatever. But the soccer field is already kind of half fenced already. If somebody wanted to rent our area and have a massive event, that including the parking lot, as long as they fence it, you know, they're following the provincial standards, right? So I guess that's kind of the first issue is the location. So I'd like to see the soccer field for sure. I know other comments have been basically anywhere at Cabot Casing Park other than the island.
I like that one.
So if we were to remove Katiscon Park tennis court, outdoor skating rink and just put Katiscon Park except for island, that would,
And when you're talking about the island, you're.
the island
With the
is.
water goes around it right here.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay, so we wanted Pepsi Park except for the island.
Yeah.
Okay,
Now, do you wanna do like a kind of distance from,
Yeah, 50
The
feet
river?
from water, 100 feet from. Like, where would the fence legally need to be if somebody were to come in to put a fence? How far from the
So
water?
I don't think it says that in the provincial statute. I ran like a huge beach volleyball tournament in Hamilton. We ran it on the beach,
Okay,
like literally.
It's just the island is tough to fence, to
Yeah.
take out water all the way
Yeah.
around it, so. I mean, if you're on this side. You know, it has to be fenced in, even if you're on this side, I mean, so.
Cause it doesn't, like for the soccer field, it's not the whole soccer field. It's the area that you would be serving alcohol that needs to be fenced. So you could
Okay.
designate a 20 by 20 in the soccer field and that's where the alcohol is.
and then it's
you
just no
use-
cups outside of.
That's right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay,
So if somebody wanted to run like a huge wedding or party, they would have to fence in the whole thing if they wanted. All the
Everybody.
tables and all the area, and whatever, but I mean, that's on them and at their. expense.
The options there.
yeah, that's exactly it, at least the option, right?
So we just changed number 1 to at the park except the island, with the exception of the island. And get rid of regulation number 2.
So there are other municipal properties that could be considered. So there's the baseball diamond in Rutherglen. So if there was ever a baseball tournament there, this would not permit somebody to have a beer garden. Right, so that's the, so by, again, I'll respect, of course, council's wishes on if the island is off limits, then fair, but. I mean, if they're complying with all of the provincial legislation and regulations. I am of the opinion, which is why I'm here tonight, that we are overcomplicating things if we try and just prescript it and prescript it and prescript it. Comply with provincial legislation. And at that point, it's fenced in. So in my mind, that also includes the island, because I'm like, if somebody really wants to like bring in fencing and do all around the island, I don't know that they would ever do that, because that would probably be crazy, but. In my mind, if you comply, you comply. If you don't, you don't, and then you don't have your event or your liquor license. But again, I mean, if the island is the off limits, then it is what it is. But again, if we start going down the road of here and here and here, well, we're gonna forget somewhere that somebody will want to.
What other properties do we own besides? the baseball?
Rutherglen Park,
Park.
Yeah.
That's it, right?
there's the park, Centennial Park.
Whether your playground.
Yes, but you don't want that there. No,
And you said this is only for events that are like alcohol is being sold, correct?
Correct.
Yes, okay.
and the committee, like for the new members, the policy is reviewed annually. So if we see next year that, yes, we should include this or should include that, then the committee is free to amend the policy at that time.
And if there's a building, like if you're selling alcohol at the dance, right? It counts because it's in the building and nobody's allowed to bring their cups outside of the building, is that the rule there? 'Cause
So,
yes.
yeah, so then it would be, like, you would still need your special provisions permit, you wouldn't need your contract with the city. Because now it's like, now you're
It's
renting the space from the hall. right?
Yeah. It's not our property, so we fall under their policies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as of right now, there's only this park and the Rutherglen Park, you can.
There's also a pretty big section of waterfront down that if somebody wanted to put a tent and run a wedding, like, I mean, there's the new park, the play structure, of course, that wouldn't be. But like, there's a whole area beside it that. if they
We are
wanted to-
tenants of those properties, we do not own them. So that
So
could be,
then-
yeah.
Who else?
North Bay Mattawa Conservation, and the other part is the hotel.
The old hotel.
Perfect. So, all I'm trying to do is get it to be, if somebody really wants to run an event in our community. Well,
They should be allowed to do
they
it.
could be able to do it
Yeah.
as long as it's,
Yeah.
as long as it's following legislation.
Dot your i's and cross your t's.
And then like the health board sat in on one of the discussions, and they said that even though a lot of our information doubles with their policy. That it's here so that when somebody comes to rent our facility, we can hand them the policy. They can read it and they sign it, saying that they basically understand it and that they've seen it. Whereas if we just keep saying, well, you just gotta follow
Yeah,
provincial
just don't work
policy,
here.
they're
Yeah.
probably not gonna read it all. But on our rental agreement, on our contract, we can say that we've printed off and handed them the newest version of the policy, and signing or saying that they've read it, and they understand it. With their insurance, with everything else, so we don't need to double up the information, I don't think, as much. as we thought.
Cassandra and I had a good lesson on Friday where we spent, I would say probably 3-4 hours. Trying to find the provincial regulations. We went everywhere, right?
Yeah.
We went to the health unit, we went to the AGCO. We got information on obtaining the permit, but the regulations. Couldn't find them anywhere.
It's all in your permit application, I think, right? So
I
maybe,
think so.
Not even, like, some of them is not in there. Like,
No, but
we
I-
went through
Sorry
everything.
to interrupt. I think when you obtain the permit, because my mom runs the Fall Fair in Trout Creek.
Mhm.
And they get a permit every year and they set it up just outside of the arena, and I think when you obtain the permit, that's when you receive it. Because whoever's getting the permit has to sign
Mhm.
and is responsible, right? So then you get all that information.
and that's,
So you probably wouldn't see it because you need to actually obtain that permit.
and that's probably going on what. Jason was saying too, is that. If we have very specific stuff and they change their policy, our policy is now. Outdated.
Yeah.
I kind of like making this as simple as possible, and I kind of said that from the start. Make this as simple as possible and just have itemized lines like that they acquire their insurance. Fine, that they have a copy of the policy provincial policy and provincial statute. And they're going to be like signing, things like that, but. Like, do we want to go through the rest of this? Was there any other? Is there anything else from the council standpoint, you remember, other than locations?
Yeah, and it was more just going through and, like even regulation, the roles and responsibilities of bartenders and floor supervisors and door supervisors and ticket sellers and. I got,
Just long and lengthy.
I don't know the purpose of it to dictate how somebody's gonna run their event if it's already prescripted for them, how. What they have to have for non-alcoholic drinks or food and all of that comes as part of your license, right? So.
So can we ask, Corey?
Sorry. I think it should be in there, point form at least, because
Yeah, like,
just from experience, like, cause my daughter has a barn venue for wedding and events. And it doesn't matter how detailed her contract is, there's always somebody who either doesn't read it or doesn't understand it. And they're still questioning it like the day before their wedding or, so to me, like, keep it real simple and point form, but I think it should still be in here, even though it's in the provincial.
Is your daughter's, is it a special occasion permit that the person who's holding the party has to get?
Yeah, the responsibility is off them, they own the venue, but each wedding has to get their own permit.
And so that would come with a list of rules and responsibilities that
Yeah.
that person would have to follow.
Yeah.
And you're saying that that person doesn't necessarily read or follow those?
They'll sign it and still come up with questions or, we had one event and, somebody lit a cigarette on the dance floor. Like, the rule is like that, no smoking indoors has been for how long? You get alcohol involved and their whole logic is gone.
that's the thing, so who's to say that even with these rules, that once you get alcohol involved, somebody's not just gonna walk over to the island anyway, and then who's liable for that? Is it the person who threw the party still?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So can I make a recommendation? If Jason wants to go through ours, highlight what you would like to see removed. And then the rest of the committee can all do the same, and then at our next meeting. Then we can go through the items and
Make it condensed.
instead of going through all of them.
Mhm.
And then that way, at the next meeting, you guys will have a better understanding of, cause one of the suggestions was. Bracelets, and somebody said if it's a wedding, you don't wanna be taking pictures with everybody wearing a bracelet, right? So, and that was from somebody similar to your daughter who has, a licensed venue. And she says, like, we wouldn't do that because people,
No.
it's a wedding, you don't want people
And
wearing
if it's-
bracelets
Yeah, it
and.
would be on the person who's hosting it, so you wouldn't need. But if it was like a party where there was tickets sold, yeah, then I would do respects.
Mhm,
Or even a stamp on the hand.
a stamp instead of a bracelet,
Yeah.
so people come
An
in
X
and
with a
out.
Sharpie
Yeah.
or-
And then this way, at least the committee gets council's point of view. And then the committee can maybe, if, say you've gone through it this week, send the committee your comments and then Jason and then whoever, and it gives you a month to go through it and say, okay, yeah, I like this idea, no, I don't like this idea, and then by next meeting, we can have a shorter version.
We also might be able to work into the budget, like a sign with very basic rules, so if somebody says like, I wanna put an event here, we can say. We have a sign that you can rent that says no drinking here, you can only do this here, stay in the fenced area.
I believe that is part of
Is
the,
it?
that there's certain signage that they have to have
And whose job is that to provide the sign?
on the the person that's getting the special occasions permit. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm looking at this township of South Walpole.
Yeah.
And it's got a lot of details in it. But the way it's organized is easy to read. And I do like that they added rationale at the end of each regulation.
We did try to look at other municipalities to see if they had shorter versions. They were all, it's like, okay, like, they're all a couple of pages.
I feel like
we-
everybody has these
Yeah.
meetings saying, we're just waiting for someone to make it short so we can
Yeah.
copy it.
I think to Jason's point, the biggest thing is, as soon as something changes with the Ontario alcohol policy, then we're out of compliance.
Yeah.
So that no one's staying up to date on those, so you are better to stick with the simple Ontario alcohol policy. Because like I said, we're not monitoring weekly or monthly to see if something's changed.
No, and even the policy says it's gonna come forward annually to review, but I mean, gosh, we only have a staff that's so big, so. You know, whether that's happening every year or not, I wouldn't blame the staff if that wasn't at the top of the priority. Right, so,
Right, I mean, I kind of think. Add in the park. Add in Brother Glen. And stick with the Ontario policy.
We're gonna table this till the next.
Yeah, but if everyone wanted to like highlight exactly. What you think should be added.
Mine's
Not
pretty
this
easy.
document.
right now.
I just need a highlight.
But then I can condense that and so we can have a list to work from for next time.
And what we can do is, we have it in Word document, so if everybody has Word, Microsoft Word, we can send it to you, and then that way you can highlight. And then we can share the document that way.
We send it
I'll
out to
help you
everybody.
these.
What did you say?
Doesn't all help you, she gave me a dirty look.
So if we send this out to everybody tomorrow, and then everybody has a couple weeks to kind of go over it on their own. And have get a greater understanding of it, and then send back their recommendations. That still gives you a few weeks.
Yep.
Before the next meeting. And then by the next meeting, we should have a.
I think that's a list of yes, no, yes, sir.
Everybody comfortable with that?
I just have a question,
Yeah.
just to be clear. So if the island is fenced in, somebody falls in the water. Or any of the areas near the water, they're fenced in, but somebody gets out, falls in the water. Whose liability is that?
It's still gonna be whoever's running the event.
Okay,
They're still gonna have their own insurance.
It's just scary enough to make you be like, we're just doing it where there's no water.
And I can guarantee you, it doesn't matter where it happens, when it happens, the municipality is also getting sued, because we're the ones in the deep pockets.
That's right.
The deep pockets, right? I mean,
There's always.
we're gonna be
something.
named in every lawsuit that ever happens.
It's just the way it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So,
This is no different than Riverfest. Riverfest is down at the beach. Right?
And they have
Right?
helicopter rides.
And everything else is no different than any other special event you've ever been to ever. That has alcohol, right? Like, there's still going to be a risk, but there's a risk associated with every single event that you ever run. You ran an Easter egg hunt.
And
broke
somebody,
their shoulder
yeah,
or
before
whatever,
we even
right?
started.
So, I mean, there's no alcohol really to get.
sugar high.
He was running for the sugar high.
I was like, everybody, there's one tiny patch of ice on this whole ground. Let's be so careful. He's like, okay, and just slip right on the.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I feel bad still.
So, yeah, so I mean, there's gonna be a risk no matter what. So I think we need to get this a little bit simple, make sure that whoever is renting our facilities know what they're expected to control. See if we can get a copy of the actual
Ontario.
Ontario.
Yep, make sure it's in like.
it should be on the LCDO website, shouldn't it?
Well, that's what they're saying. They looked at it for a few hours, but I think it's.
I'll ask my mom, though.
Yeah.
I'll ask my mom, I can get back.
I can also apply for.
Understand.
I don't know if it's-
Nobody understands.
Yeah,
They're
like
right.
layman's terms. I don't wanna just like smile and nod and pretend like I understand what I'm reading, especially if I'm in charge of such a serious.
The nice thing is we have lots of time to get this right because nobody's renting or.
I was gonna say-
Until the spring summer and now, so, you know, we have 3 or 4 months
Mm-hmm.
that like we know it's event. You know, the rain or anything like that, right? So we got some time.
But that is like you can rent the ring, that's the thing. Great, yeah, yeah. Cool. Do we have like lights? and
We need to come
stuff?
up with like these structures and so.
Yeah,
There's
because
the
we
light,
went
there's
to-
the light.
We went to the last battalion game and I saw you there. And I looked at my boyfriend, I said, you know, it'd be really nice for our anniversary to rent out the rink and have the lights, like all the colorful lights and the music, and he's like, I don't think I can afford a North Bay, but.
Maybe Bob.
Maybe one, yeah, that'd be cool if we could
romantic
do
with the music
a
and
little
spotlight,
disco
you know?
ball.
But it is
I think we're
also
talking about cocktail.
like a fail-safe wedding, like we are very fortunate to have such a beautiful area here that, I mean, if somebody's looking to do an outdoor wedding, you have fail-safe weatherproof. roof over,
People come
right?
here to
So-
take pictures up the river anyway, so if you could
Right.
do your whole wedding here, like.
Absolutely, so
Yeah.
it's just making sure that we're marketing ourselves to that, but in order to market ourselves, we gotta be open to it, and right now. It's a challenge, right?
Oh, that brings me to, I wanna talk about the change rooms at some point in time, at some meeting, at some point. I just wanna like. It'd just be great if they were facing this way instead. Cause as a parent, you can't watch your child, you can't sit in the shade and watch your child. Play out the playground or play at the splash pad because the bathrooms are in front of the. Like where the tables are. You know what I mean? You can only see like this way, you can't see anything that way. So there's no place for parents to sit to be able to see your kids. Just to table that for next time.
Yeah, we can bring that up at some point.
Alright. So 7, unfinished business, so 7.1, Christmas, in Bonfield. The soup and chili and baking scene and parade. So I won't be here, that is November 25th. So. If you're new to Bonfield or new to the committee, the soup and chili, anybody can enter a soup and chili, we ask that they register in advance. Most people don't. There's limited outlets in the hall. So we usually bring over a ton of extra extension cords and power bars and things like that. We set up all the tables, they come in with their super late chili, they have a certain timeline that they have to meet. So that, you know, they're not walking in with their product when people are already there. We set it all up, there's tasters and like little ballots for everybody that comes to vote for their favorite chili, their favorite soup. New this year is a baking exchange, so we're asking for 12 dozen of the same product.
Oh,
So if you make cookies, you make 12 dozen cookies,
jeez.
and then you come in, you put them down, and then you can take 12 of one dozen
Something
of
else.
everything else, so you'll.
Okay, cool.
12 different.
So you come with a platter, you leave with a platter?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and so that's new this year, so we'll need to do some promos so that everybody understands that.
If somebody wants to do the chili and the soup, are they allowed to enter both?
Yep.
Okay, 'cause somebody was
You
asking.
gotta
me.
bring your own extension.
I mentioned maybe doing the chili and then my sister-in-law already registered. She said, well, I'm doing it, so you better do it. I said, well, now I've got to compete against you.
So this event's pretty easy to run, it's just tables and chairs out, and then all along the wall where the outlets are, is all the soups and chilies and stuff, so we just need people there to accept people and to set it all up. But it's pretty easy to run that day and a fairly quick cleanup.
What time is it?
I think the event goes.
From 4 to
4
6.
o'clock, yeah.
Yeah, actually, the event is 4 to 6. Tasting is from 4 to 5:30, and then we announce the winners after 5:30.
What's people to bring their stuff, bringing by.
Before
3:45.
4:45.
What did
Does that give it enough time to warm up?
They should be warm, and they bring them in crock pots or stuff
Or
like
like
that.
second spin pot as
Yeah.
a lid,
Yeah.
helpful. Lesson for learned.
I live
But,
close if you gotta warm it up.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking like, cause it's, you know, like 2-gallon pot or whatever, like that's pretty.
Yeah, is there a minimum
Pretty
for
big.
soup and chili? They have?
Yeah, and it was included in the
13
newsletter, and then I've got a couple of different posts ready to go.
Okay.
Like
Something else
a
ready to go,
crock pot
all of that.
I was thinking it was.
or a slow
Go,
cooker.
but yeah, that does
Yeah.
explain the rules
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
all that.
that's enough.
Our event was shared in the newspaper last week.
Pay today,
They did.
pay today.
What?
Friends with David Briggs too?
No, because I seen it.
Alright,
That's all.
so 7.2, 2024 events. So we need to add. Our Easter egg,
No broken shoulders this time, guys.
No problem.
so I'd still like to see all of our events in date order. With the dates, one list, so that every post that we do. So now when we're posting about the chili, at the very bottom, upcoming events, and you just listen, and then the next event, you move it up and you still list it at the bottom. Because everybody in Bonfield is like, oh, I didn't know that was coming up.
Yeah.
So if you just list them all at the bottom, even if they're 11 months away, the date's there, and we just kind of roll that calendar up every post. So that our other 9 events are at the bottom. So I'd like to list them all, of all the dates set. And that, you know, we can post it here, but especially for all of our social media stuff, any of our flyers and everything.
For the 2024 Canada Day. Linda Overton, who usually organizes our Music for Canada Day, was asking if they were coming back next year. So I told her we were having a meeting tonight and I would discuss it with the meeting so that, or with the committee. I did tell her that there may be changes to the hours, but it's just so that she can start working on her list of performers.
Okay.
So the sooner we can get an answer to her, then she can start working on who she can have that day, and if not, it gives them the opportunity to go somewhere else.
Has everybody attended Canada Day here? Do we like the music that they provided? It's been the same people now, I think every year since I've been here.
We used to try to get different bands and it got costly.
Yeah, I feel like the
and-
last time I remember it was
Yeah.
Gravitas.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So we just,
I don't know.
we
I
just
wanna
give
know.
Linda a budget and then she brings people from her group community. So I don't know which way the committee wants to go for next year, but
I guess that's a big one for our first meeting too. Looking at that, that's pretty far away still.
the
Gotta
bands
stay
go
on
early
top
for
of
it.
July
Yeah.
1st, though, yeah.
Yeah, especially for Canada Day.
Sure.
Yeah, help myself. So. Like, the music seems to have a small following of
Yeah.
people that come in for that music. I don't know if other music would have a different following. Like, it is definitely geared to a demographic that isn't the younger. Which our community is turning younger, right?
It's
Like,
very
we
much,
have a-
yeah. since
Right,
COVID.
so I don't know that it really reflects where we're going as a community, and I think the community needs to make the decision of, do we stick with kind of catering to the old, or are we looking to shift and start building into that newer demographic in our community, right?
I think the live band is like super great for the evening, once like more people are coming out just to chill. But maybe just like somebody with Spotify for during the day when there's people, and you can even have like a request, have a little DJ booth where people can go in. My kid's been asking me 40 times to listen to this song, can you play it next and add it to the list, you know? Cause you're paying somebody to be here all day, right? Like, I don't know how much a band is, but
on who.
yeah,
We were looking at for Canada Day, shortening it, because we've always tried to extend it and try.
to make it all the way to the fireworks, right?
So we're trying to come up with stuff around dinner time to keep people here, or to get people out of here to eat
Yeah.
and come back for fireworks. Now we're looking at moving fireworks to that last weekend of the summer.
Right.
So that people can come and do Canada Day, kind of midday here, but they can still go to North Bay or any other surrounding communities for fireworks. Keep our event really tight. Kind of in the middle of the day, and still offer an amazing event. But really get a second event out of that with the same budget.
Okay.
Fund something at the end of the year.
Like we did this year, we did
Yeah.
the fireworks.
So we probably don't need as much music as we did before, because I think we were like one
We
till
said-
6-ish, something like that.
I
Yeah.
say let's scratch it for a year and see how we make out. That's my opinion.
I think we still want something, I just.
I think the
to,
committee had said go to about 5 o'clock or 6,
like run our event like 12
Yeah.
to 5 or.
12 to 5,
6 or
12 to
something.
6. And move our evening entertainment and everything to the September long weekend instead. So we would only need entertainment for maybe 3-4 hours at the top, like if we do our parade. And then the mayor's hot dogs barbecue, that runs till about 12:31. So then it would be like 1 to 5. Yeah.
It's also always extremely hot that weekend. Like, if I go out with the kids, I'll go watch the parade and then we're inside for like 2 hours in front of the AC, and then we'll come out, steal a hot dog and get a face paint, and then run back to the house, and then we'll come back for the fireworks later, so.
So we run it on the asphalt and that's probably another, if it's gonna be hot. Like, I don't know if we look to move kind of it all, including the barbecue, maybe it's a power issue, I don't know. But yeah,
There's
if we move
power,
it
but
kind of
just-
all to that area and like Steve was saying, condense it, so the parade happens, then maybe the barbecue's happening. Well, there's already a band kind of playing, cause that's kind of cool, right? So then you have that. Then the mayor can make a nice little speech, she does her thing, microphone's already set up where the band is, so borrow the mic and
Cause
then,
it's like 10 to 15 degrees cooler in the.
yeah.
in
And
the
there's a lot of
exterior.
kids, like if you're hosting an event that's like
Mhm.
catered specifically to like bring out young kids.
Absolutely. I bet you the bands would appreciate the fact that the draw of the free hot dogs is now you're listening to music, now you're doing, if you
Yeah.
kind of did it all at
It's
once,
all
like,
like together.
yeah.
And the splash pads
And
here this
cake,
year, and
yeah.
that's like a new thing, and that's fun, and
Well, that's where the kids can cool off and the
Yeah,
adults if they want to.
So I think music wise, if we have 4 hours, I think. What might be a good compromise is to get them to do the first 2 or 2.5 hours. And then maybe try and get a band that is going to cater to a younger demographic. Kind of for the last hour and a half as like a showcase band. And that way. You know, we're not cutting them out completely. They've done a great job for us in the past. Absolutely. And that, you know, hits both demographics maybe. Might maybe keep people at the park a little bit longer because of different bands coming up that haven't really been here before. But I guess we would need to determine what band and at what cost and try and book that soon.
you can also find local talent too. You can have like a karaoke open mic for the last hour if we need to like stretch out the entertainment. I know Zach Mason, I don't know if he still lives in the area, but he does country music. Everybody likes, you know, like have people from around here doing stuff that people from around here do.
Even if it's more modern country music,
Yeah.
honestly, you would hit a younger demographic with that.
Yeah.
So if we're thinking 1 till 5. I would maybe ask and see if they'll cover like a 1 till 3 for now. And then let's work on. Finding a different band that hasn't been here before. That's, you know, a little bit more. Different, right? Like the caters to a younger demographic, maybe like a new country or rock band or something like that. Even for an hour.
The boats can't go where the water is right there, right?
Yes.
Depends on the kind of boat. Lots of people watch the fireworks.
From the boat?
Yeah.
Why not throw in like a boat plaza like all those other communities are doing into it too? So that they could listen to the music from their boats and stuff, cause that seems to be a big hit to us.
Yeah.
I've seen that a lot in the last
You
couple
You're
of
gonna
years.
have
you
lots
put
of
10
people,
boats in there though?
and you're gonna have lots of people drinking on the water.
It's pretty tight, like, I mean, by the time you get 10 boats trying to dock there, and then there's pretty good water
Gonna have
flow.
Kayak
because of
palooza.
that. Yeah, we know where to get the kayaks.
There you go.
You
You could make bank there.
Paddleboards.
Yeah. With the witch costume.
So we still have lots of time for that, but let's
So 1 to 3,
1 to 3 to start.
okay,
And let it
For
still.
Linda,
have the
and then we'll
playing
find
station.
another one.
So what time's the parade typically?
usually it's at 11, so that it ends here for noon for the
Sure.
mayor's barbecue.
Yeah, we served from noon till 1.
So why wouldn't we have music going while we were doing that barbecue thing?
We could, like, especially we're moving the barbecue there.
Yeah, we
All for green.
You could also have the person leading the parade have a speaker playing music, kind of drawing the music to like, hey, come
the 2
come with
and
us.
then 2 to 5, the other one or something. They each get 3 hours.
It'd make it worth their while to come for 3 hours.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on cost involved too.
Yeah.
Because some bands are like really pricey.
Well, it might not be worth it for them to come for 3 hours if somebody else would book
Yeah.
them for the same day for 8. You know what I mean?
Well, and, you know, true, and then if it's costly, like maybe you do 12 to 2, 2 to 4, like if it ends at 4, like nobody's gonna feel ripped off because it ended at 4 either, right? I don't think.
Well, cause then 5 is getting close to supper time, they've already had their lunch,
Right.
they might wanna head home anyways for
Yeah,
their
thinking
dinner
like a
hour.
mom, I'm gone for sure by 3 and I'm not coming back till after 5:30. For sure. I'm getting my kids, we're getting home, we're getting out of the sun, having an hour to decompress before they're gonna eat any dinner, cause they're not gonna feel great when they're hot. Then we're eating, then we're having a bath, putting our PJs on and going back out.
That sounds lovely.
Yes.
So maybe we'll just stop at 5 till 3, everybody. takes a nap.
Right?
Yeah,
That's
we'll just set up a
wonderful.
bunch of cots in the rink.
Okay, so 12 to 12.
Like, I don't know from a band's perspective whether trying to book something for 2 hours is a waste of their time.
It's gonna be
They're gonna
harder.
charge us the same amount of money anyways. will they not?
I don't think so, cause I think it's so early, so I think they could come, like, they could potentially do an AM, so
Do something else.
come here for a little bit, and then they'd still have lots of time to get to whatever gig at night.
And one last question for consideration, do we flip it and say that we're playing the younger music first? Like, who's more apt to stick around from
The
the,
free barbecue is gonna be families.
Yeah,
Right.
I would rather younger music in the afternoon and then have like a live band later, cause. Like my parents will come out and dance to a live band and my grandparents, but they're not gonna like come and. If there's a million kids running around, that's not like relaxing, you know? They're gonna come once it's chill, cause they wanna enjoy the event in their capacity, which is just like. Watching people dance, listening to music, lights are low, good vibes.
That's
So-
a good point, because when we did the fireworks in the last weekend, when there was that young man playing band. And with all the kids running around, it was hard to listen to him.
Yeah, you can't really appreciate live
Yeah.
music if there's like distractions. So that's just my take.
But it's also a family
Yeah,
event and
I get it.
there's just so many
We have to-
demographics, there's so many different people in Bonfield, different age groups to cater a single event to. Reach every single age group and like make sure everybody's gonna equally have a great
Yeah.
time is so difficult.
I get that, but what I'm saying is I agree with you is that when it's lunchtime and the kids are there and everything, you have the younger type of music. And then, I don't know, for the last hour and a half, then you have that live band for the older crowd.
Mhm. And it also probably doesn't feel great being an entertainer, having nobody really like paying attention to you, really.
Yeah.
Like just having people just like, "Oh, just running past you, it's nice to have people like sit down and are like attentive to your performance.
Yeah.
So,
so you're suggesting no live music between 12 and 2? You're just talking.
that'd just be my suggestion, I would just say like, get some people with a speaker, place just some random music and then. Bring in the live band for later in the evening, once the performance that they're putting on is going to be like fully appreciated and people are like. It's just less going on around, so there's more focus on what's being paid for. Again,
I totally agree with that.
like even if you're going to a wedding, let's say I'm having a wedding, you're allowed to bring your kids to the ceremony, but I want a child-free reception. I just want people to like have fun and drink and dance at the end of the night. Am I paying for a DJ to come in at the end of the night, or am I paying for a DJ to come in and sing me down the aisle? I'm paying for someone to come at the end of the night, cause that's when like the party's happening, right? Doesn't mean we're not having fun during the rest of the day. It's just more fun in the evening, in my personal opinion.
No, we're not doing anything, right?
No, ends at 5, that's it.
And we're not doing the fireworks.
Or even-
No.
It's like whatever works for the scheduling.
I mean, I would still have someone there. I'd still have someone there playing, whether people are listening or not. I mean, it's there and there's maybe see people sitting eating their hot dog listening.
See if we can get that guy back. He was great. The one man band there that he played. He was great.
And a lot of people now with the amount of. Events and bars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like getting in either 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, I'm fine with 12. Till 2 or 3, and then getting like a younger demographic band from 3 to 5. And trying it and seeing how it goes and.
We can always flip it next year, we can always flip it next year and see, put the younger music first and then.
I think we just gotta promote it, so if we have a list of who's singing, cause I know they get 2 or 3 different people.
Mhm.
They have a following.
Yeah.
So if we get a list saying, hey, from 12 to 12:30 is this guy, from 12:30 to 1 is, whatever.
I like that. I like having both of them, live music for both.
And do they come with like a set list of songs that they?
No.
Nope.
They
Do
just
their own stuff.
do their own stuff. Okay, we'll need
Okay.
suggestions for the afternoon band.
Yeah, I can try and contact a few people and see,
Okay,
still feeling them like for pricing. Okay, so 2024 events. I'm guessing that you have a list of events. Do we need to pick dates for stuff?
Upcoming.
yeah, I don't have a, like.
It was mainly to discuss Canada Day with the entertainment so that we could book it.
So for next meeting, can you try and have a complete list of everything that we're involved in?
Yep.
And then we can add to it or take away from it, pick dates if we have to for anything.
Yep.
And that way we can start to roll out that calendar.
Yeah, I'll get a full event calendar going.
And we're at 8, correspondence
Nope.
and information.
Nope.
Okay, so next meeting is December 4th. And we're still until then, so still 5.
Mhm.
5 p.m. And then adjourn.
This-
Moved by Renee and second by Louise that the Recreation and Fitness Committee meeting be adjourned at 6:01. All in favor? Okay. Right, thanks. So these guys will email you hopefully tomorrow, the municipal alcohol policy. So that you guys have hopefully 2 weeks or so to kind of get some notes and get it back to them. So that they have about 2 weeks or so